The robot that had been shot dead suddenly woke up. He sat up and touched the wound on his chest. This kind of injury was nothing to a robot. He walked over to an evidence box. Inside was a standard human head. So he forcefully ripped off his robot head and disguised himself as a normal, ordinary human. This was in 2048 due to technology spiraling completely out of control. Countless military technologies leaked into civilian hands. The crime rate suddenly surged by 400% because there were too many criminals and too few cops. Law enforcement could only equip each officer with a combat robot. These robots could, in any complex environment, deduce the most effective solutions. But the protagonist, Doug, deeply despised robots because during an arrest operation he commanded, a robot abandoned his partner instead of rescuing him. Doug angrily tried to carry his partner out himself, but after just a few steps, he was shot in the right leg and passed out. And in that operation, except for him, every human officer was killed in action. So Doug came to hate robots, and having a robot in the passenger seat chattering away, constantly analyzing Doug's mental health, was more than Doug could take. He opened the car door and tossed it out. Now he'd broken the last active duty robot. His superior could only send him to the warehouse to pick up a previously decommissioned robot. Because a programmer had given this batch of robots an emotional program, they would sometimes, like humans, have emotional breakdowns and were therefore abandoned. And this one, called Jack, was the most advanced robot from that batch, though Doug really didn't like it, this highly human-like robot. Did surprise Doug a bit, even his colleagues at the station. Seeing Jack thought he looked too much like a human. Just then, Doug got word that a colleague had been kidnapped. They immediately headed to the perpetrator's location. Going upstairs, they found a timer in the middle of the staircase. The robot determined it was a tripwire bomb and told all human officers to evacuate. But Jack, ignoring their protests, walked forward and after analyzing it, found it wasn't a bomb. Doug and he followed the wire into the room and found their kidnapped colleague trapped inside a sealed glass box, and that pull line was connected right to it. Doug immediately realized it was a trap. Just as he was about to order a retreat, the machine suddenly activated on its own. A gas was released inside the glass box. The moment his colleague inhaled it, his body rapidly corroded and he died.